trigger warning. So if you're a religious high roller, this video ain't for you. So I just want to tell you guys a quick story. So I had a girlfriend of mine that recommended me to a physical trainer. And I went to go see that trainer today, but she was running late. So I had met with the owner of the establishment. Owner of the establishment, young girl, probably in her early 20s. And she said, I'm going to start with you until such and such gets here. And we'll just sign the contract and go over the, initial information. So as we're talking, I was telling her how my birthday is next week. Like, oh, your birthday's on such and such date. I said, yeah. So I asked her, I said, when is your birthday? And she's like, it's in October. So I said, oh, you're a Libra? She's like, yeah, I don't really practice any of that. Okay. So I said to her, I said, well, I'm not going to tell you what I do. If I tell you, it's going to scare you off. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, I told you if I tell you, it's probably going to scare you off. I said, well, what do you do? I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. She asked me again for a third time. She's like, so you're going to tell me what you do now? I'm like, all right, well, I do something called quantum healing hypnotherapy. She's like, well, what's that? I'm like, it's just basically a state of hypnosis. And I'm able to tap into your past lives. We can find out the things in those past lives that are affecting your current lifetime. She's like, oh, okay. So I said, I don't know if you believe in past lives or not. I'm like, but it's a very healing experience because it basically helps people understand a lot of the things that are holding them back. I'm like, and she's like, okay. She goes, well, I think she had asked me something about my religion. And I'm like, I'm not really religious. I said, I'm a spiritualist. And I'm like, I believe in all religions. So she's like, so if I play Christian music in here, is it going to bother you? I said, absolutely not. I'm like, I grew up Christian. No. She's like, well, do you believe in Jesus Christ? I said, I absolutely do believe in Jesus Christ. So then she's like, but do you believe that Jesus Christ is God? Like, where are we going with all this? So I said to her, I said, well, I believe that like God's in all of us. She's like, oh, you're one of those. Like, one of those? Bitch, what the fuck you talking about? I basically try to explain to her, I'm like, listen, I don't practice anything dark or black magic or anything like that. I'm like, I believe in love. And I try to explain to her my 3 keys to life. I'm like, you got to believe in forgiveness. You can't move forward without forgiving people, forgiving yourself. I'm like, you got to have gratitude. Sudden, I noticed that she gets nervous. And as she's getting like more nervous, she's listening to me, but not listening to me. Then the girl I'm supposed to be training with walks in. It's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, girl, hey. Girl that I was originally talking to, the owner, she goes, I'm just going to go talk to her in the back for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm like, sure. This was an awkward moment. So she steps in the back to go talk to the girl and she comes back. She says to me, she says, a lot of what we do is based off a vibe. And I don't know if we're vibing right now, so I don't think this is a good idea. Okay. So I said, well, girl, no problem. And I'm saying all this to say, right? This is the problem with religion. Unfortunately, people who practice religion, they're so hypocritical. And especially Christians. So I take it that this woman was a Christian. And Christians are supposed to be practicing love. And I didn't get to finish my last key to life. The last key to life is love, right? And I was in the process of telling her that the last key is love, right? And love is the highest frequency. It's the closest thing to God. So it's ironic that people who practice religion, they're so caught up in the idea of believing in something. And if you don't believe in what I believe in, then you're not a good person. And I just feel like it's just so hypocritical that you're supposed to be practicing love, which is in the likes of Jesus Christ, and you can't even accept the people and the things around you. It's ironic because what I do is I teach people about balance and understanding their faults in life. So this woman who was a young woman, she's always going to have issues with success. And I know she is. She's always going to have issues with success, because how can you offer a service to somebody and you allow certain things to limit your ability to make money? So don't get me wrong. I know all money isn't good money, and that's not my point. My point is religion causes self-limiting behavior, and you don't realize that these self-limiting thoughts can handicap you in your own personal growth. So I believe that this girl, part of her life lesson is understanding how it's important to accept people and accept other people's ideals, and that is all a part of life. And that can be applied to a lot of things in life. That can be applied to racism, that can be applied to politics. And I think that this is why people end up battling each other, because of the idea of duality. Religion can cause a state of a mindset of duality. And people think that if you don't believe in my idea, then your idea is wrong. Well, why can't we meet in the middle? So it's unfortunate, not for me, because I'm still going to move forward and trainers come a dime a dozen. But she lost out on money. And then on top of that, her employee who drove miles, which is why she was already late, now had to suffer loss of gas, loss of time, just like myself, and loss of money because of your own self-limiting ideas. So I wish them luck. At the end of the day, God is love. If you really truly are going to practice that idea, live in it. Live in it. Because my thing is, had I had been a Jewish woman, or had I had been a Muslim woman, or had I practiced Buddhism, would she have still treated me the same way? Huh. It's interesting, right? When I came there just to lose weight. And then on top of that, you asked me 3 times. And I told you I wasn't going to tell you. Oh, well, sucks for her. Because she's the one that lost out on money, not me. So don't allow certain things and certain thought processes to block your blessings, people. Learn and grow. That's what we're here for.